Yeah, there's these health professionals that are doing these YouTube channels that they're very excited about having their own line of products because it's a secondary source of income. But what they're not realizing is that 83% of the time it's white label. They don't have to guarantee that the nutrition is in that bottle in the amounts that it says it is. Nobody's regulating this.
Everyone, and welcome back to the Pretty Profit Podcast, where beauty meets business and big results happen. I'm your host, Marcia Mehrali, owner of Beneath the Surface Spa in Madison, New Jersey. Today, we're diving into one of my favorite topics, beauty from the inside out. At Beneath the Surface, we're all about results, and while facials, microneedling, and skincare treatments work, wonders on the outside, I found true lasting transformation happens when we also support the body from within. I'm so excited to have Adrianne Carbonell with us today. I have teamed up with her to help more people achieve real lasting results by combining internal wellness with professional treatments. Whether you're a spa owner, solo esthetician, or just someone who's just starting a wellness journey, this episode is for you. We're talking about how to enhance your beauty treatments, accelerate visible results, and feel amazing while doing it. Oh, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss an episode. Adrianne, I am so excited to have you here. You and I know that when it comes to result, whether it's glowing skin, balanced hormones, or overall wellness, it's not just about what we put on our skin, but also what we put in our body. Can you share a bit about the science behind absorption and bioavailability in these supplements?
Yeah. So one thing I want to stress when it comes to any supplementation at all is the biggest issue that I've seen after 20 years of being in the health and wellness space and trying to create simplicity in programming for people is that it has to be absorbable. Otherwise, they don't see results as quickly. And so when you're talking about technology, there's really three things that we specialize in, and that is exploration, curation, and absorption. So specifically, if we want to talk about the absorption part, what I've noticed where a lot of formulations fall short is they only use maybe one or two delivery modalities. So if you look at current supplementation out there, they're usually using maybe an enzyme, maybe a probiotic, something like that, but not necessarily using the right delivery modality for the right nutrient. So for example, if we were to talk about collagen, okay, then what happens is getting collagen to absorb into the body, it's kind of like trying to throw a football through a chain link fence. It's too big, right? It's an amino acid, it's a building block. So you have to hydrolyze it, micronize it, and then you can add some other cofactors for absorption too, like things like vitamin C and whatnot, that allow it to be able to absorb into the cell better. And I just don't see a lot of companies doing that. I see them using like lower grade quality collagens type 2 that are bovine or chicken liver or bone broth, things like that, which oftentimes are underregulated. The whole supplement market is underregulated. That's the biggest issue. That's the biggest issue right there. But particularly collagen can be highly underregulated because they're like, oh, it's just a byproduct of an animal. Let's turn it into a powder and we'll put it in our coffee every day. But the majority of people don't absorb it. And so you have to use the right delivery modality for the right nutrient. And what I love most about what we're doing here is our formulator. He really is, they call him the molecule man. And he really
I love that.
Yeah, he's redefined the science of supplementation. So we use and we innovate, right? So we use leading edge cellular absorption technologies that are medically relevant formulations. So that means you get superior bioavailability. Our products are safe, they're highly cost effective and efficacious. So does it work? Can it be absorbed? Kind of what's in it for me? And you need to know that you're not wasting your money on, products that don't get into the cell and into the body. We use 12 delivery modalities, right? We use liposomes, micronization, enzyme technology, chelated aminos, adjuvants, polyphenol complexation. I mean, I could go
wow.
on. Hydrolysis, fulvic micelles. So, but not a lot of companies do that. They don't take the time. We're very much a luxury boutique line of products. You're not going to find us on Amazon. So definitely the absorption is what redefines us.
Is there anything else that redefines us? Are there any studies or anything that have been done on these products?
Yeah, there's actually 3 clinical studies that have been done on our products that show the first one is the absorption. It's an absorption study that shows how the products absorb up to 36% and all the way up to 95% into your cells and into the body without needing any IV drip, for example, right? And of course, when you go in, you get an IV bag of fluids, basically. You feel good because we're all dehydrated houseplants walking around, so we feel really good. And then we're like, oh yeah, give me that, vitamin B or that, glutathione, right? Well, those are liposomal formulations in that bag. What we're doing and what the science in the absorption study is saying is that you don't necessarily need the IV drip to absorb our products all the way up to 95% into the cell. So that's pretty significant. The next one, he did another one too from a third-party company out of Christchurch, New Zealand, that they specialize in epigenetics. Well, epigenetics is your gene function. It's the, suppressing or the upregulating of certain genes. And so what they're showing is that we used to say stuff, right? Like if you are your DNA. In other words, like you can't change it. Well, that's partially true. But what they're realizing is that with high grade supplementation, you actually can change gene expression for the better. And so that's what that study is all about. So they took, certain parts of our product and the molecules, and they tested them on things like liver tissue and, how does this affect that? And what they noticed is that, they can affect things like GLP-1, right? We can naturally downregulate GLP-1 without any drugs or shots, although I'm not opposed to it. I think some people do require a jump start. I think it's more important to have a good quality product in your body that does that naturally, though, because it's much more sustainable long term. Things like that. BDNF, brain nootropic function, that's another gene. We have so many people, adults and children who are on ADD medications nowadays for focus and clarity of mind. And what they're not realizing is that they're actually struggling with superoxide or an overproduction of bad inflammation. And you can come in and you can mitigate that through really good high quality supplements like ours. And so that's just some of them. IL-6 is another one. It's a base inflammatory status. Like, do you have seasonal allergies even? That can be affected positively. With our product line. And the last one I would say is that I mentioned superoxide, and superoxide is what 78% of people are sort of being diagnosed and undiagnosed with, which is you're struggling because we live in a really toxic environment and our bodies get confused, right? So they literally are like, what is happening? And you start to not feel so good. You get inflamed. Maybe you have joint issues, things like that. Well, what one of our products does particularly is it comes in and it reduces superoxide production by 36% every time you take 2 caplets. So yes, it is significant. It is great for long-term health. It doesn't matter what age you are. I had a girlfriend of mine. She has 4 boys that are all on the spectrum. She squoze some under her son's tongue and he started singing, and he doesn't do that. And he started putting together puzzles and he doesn't do that. That's an inflammatory issue that can be mitigated through really good supplementation.
Wow, that's a great transformation.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
So let's go through, all the supplements. I want to just kind of, narrow it down piece by piece. I love that we brought them into Beneath the Surface Spa because they pair well with what we do there. We do a lot of collagen induction therapy. We just want people to be healthier. Everyone's got a busy life, and supplementation, you really need it just for overall health, I believe. And getting the best supplement into your body and at the highest absorption is wonderful. So you're not just peeing out, the supplements, because we all go to that counter and sometimes you don't even know what to buy. You're just buying B12 or vitamin C, but you're getting individual bottles instead of, kind of downsizing your supplement cabinet. So let's go. The one that I sell the most, I sell all of them, but the one I sell the most is the collagen. So tell us a little bit about that.
That we produce is the only one that's listed in the PDR. This is significant. The PDR is what's called the prescriber's digital reference. It's one of the most commonly used source of pharmaceutical and nutraceutical information for most healthcare professionals. The fact that there's 19 nutraceutical companies listed in there, and you can't buy your way into the PDR because you have to list clinical dossiers. You have to spend millions of dollars on third-party testing for safety, efficacy, potency. You're testing for radionucleotides and mold and all sorts of stuff. It's very pricey. So for out of 19 companies to be the only one that has a collagen that's been submitted, that says something right there. Our entire line's actually submitted into the PDR, which is why we have over 3,000 health professionals actively using and promoting our products. But the reason I'm obsessed with the collagen in particular is because it's the only one listed in there as a viable, really good source.
And I got to tell you, this week has been crazy with collagen. I've been selling it like nuts. I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why. I have had 2 clients who said, I don't need that collagen anymore. And guess what? They came back because the results stopped. Their hair, because it has the biotin and keratin in it, their hair stopped growing. And they told me they will never go off it again.
I mean, I just got a really great video from a nurse practitioner that owns her own IV drip therapy clinic. She had some issues with long COVID, and she lost a bunch of her hair. And she she did 3 rounds or 3 months of the collagen. And now she has all this baby hair that she just finally was able to put, extensions back in the rest of her hair, but it's growing in like right here, all of it. So it was incredible to see her testimonial on that. But yeah, I mean, our product is simple. It delivers 5 whole grams of highly bioavailable marine collagen. It comes from an open ocean aquaculture process. So it's very clean. It's mercury free. Doesn't come from like the eyeballs or the scales. It's coming just from the bones of really great fish. And it's pretty amazing. Yes, it promotes the body's natural ability to even produce collagen on its own. And people are like, whoa, I need to see the science behind that. But the reality is if you fill the body with high grade amino acids and collagen being one of the best sources of that, and you do it and you don't overload the body every day, but you do it for 10 days on. So we do 10 sachets as a 30-day supply, boom, 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 10 days back to back. You just drink it, you rip the top off, you sip it. It tastes delicious. It helps you sleep better. It even helps with leaky gut issues. But it comes in and yeah, it's doing more than just hair, skin, and nails. It's for tissue recovery and repair as well. Fine lines, wrinkles, vibrant looking skin. It just absorbs so well that what happens is it's like it's as if you flooded your body with a really high grade collagen. And then when you pull back for those next 20 days, the body starts being stimulated. There's some amino acid complexes in there along with it that stimulate the body's own natural response to want to produce collagen on its own. So 78% of our tissue, like we're made of collagen, basically, and we lose 1% production every year after the age of 30. So it makes sense to use a high quality, but not necessarily to overload with lower grades of collagen that aren't being absorbed. You're just wasting your time and money. 78%, I would say you urinate out.
Right. Yes.
Not getting it. Yeah. So it makes more sense this way.
And so with the collagen, we also do these really great services. And I feel before we got the collagen, we still did these great services, but the result was great. But when we added sold the collagen to our clients and they used it in conjunction with our, let's say, for instance, our microchanneling, the result was even better. It just lifted their face, the color changed, their lip color changed. I know with me, my eyes are brighter. I also, when I had COVID, I had a lot of hair loss for a long period of time. It wasn't just after, or just before or after COVID. It just continuously, I would go in the shower and just pull my hair. I hated to wash my hair. So now my hair is much thicker. I'm still growing that baby hair. It grows extremely fast. I have to get my hair colored now every 4 weeks instead of 5 to 6 weeks. And I'm happy to do it because I want my hair to be healthy, my scalp to be healthy. And we also sell this collagen with our new Japanese head spa because there's a lot of people that have clogged roots because they use dry shampoo or they have hard water. And so we're really washing and removing and scrubbing that buildup off their scalp. And then also, if you do the inner beauty with the collagen, it will help for that hair growth and for your scalp to get even healthier. So I love this product. So there's another beauty product that I love also with a very high absorption. So can you tell us about Eternal?
Yeah. Oh, Eternal is one of my favorite products. Mm-hmm. It is probably one of our most popular outside of the collagen because it's so easy to use. First of all, it comes in a little purple pouch. So I sort of affectionately call it the purple pouch. Have you had your purple pouch today? But you can keep it in the fridge. It tastes delicious. It's got 10 different superfruits in there. It is an anti-aging product, but I don't really love the word anti-aging. I'm sort of pro-aging in a way that makes sense for your body, where you have enough energy and you're feeling good and you're looking good, right? That's the difference between, I guess, my version of I want people to age. I want them to age well, actually, right? And so this product comes in and it helps protect that process. It protects and supports cells from premature aging while promoting cellular health and longevity and allowing the cells to communicate better. So yes, we need to work on, neutralizing free radical damage. And it's so powerful that in some cases too, it actually can deliver enough powerful phytonutrients that it works against UV damage. So slightly excited about that, but its superpower comes from 200 milligrams of liposomal resveratrol along with glutathione. It's got a smidge of our same collagen, more as a cofactor for absorption, and then 10 different superfruits, things like mangosteen and, goji berry and polyphenols. And, I've got 19-year-old twin girls that are in college, and this is a product I can't keep in their dorm because all of their friends and their sorority sisters come in and they take it. I'm like, you need to tell your mom to call and order some from me, right? Because they get such beautiful glowing skin because the glutathione is a powerful antioxidant. Yes, it's found in nature, but it's incredible for reducing oxidative stress, right? And so it's just really neat. It also has some CoQ10 in there, which is great for heart health, right? And promoting mitochondrial function. And so I do sort of nerd out on this product because it produces visible results quite quickly when you're on it. And people do start glowing from the inside out. My skin has never looked this good. My hair, all of it is just, I feel like I do glow, and it's not just makeup. It literally is the base. It's a good base for foundational nutrition. The resveratrol is amazing. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I follow an anti-aging expert out of Australia. His name is Dr. David Sinclair, and he was actually featured, on 60 Minutes, what was it, almost 2 years ago now, for reverse aging in rats. And he was injecting them with 200 milligrams of liposomal resveratrol. Now, what the research now shows is that, yes, it was making their skin look better. Their hair was growing back in dark, all that good stuff. They were, less wrinkles and less dry skin. But what was happening is on a cellular level, it was reversing that aging process using that much resveratrol and glutathione. So we have that. And the science is saying you don't have to have it injected to have an absorption rate. And that product has been shown in our absorption study to absorb up to 95% into the cell using liposomal delivery. So it is probably one of our most powerful products, along with the fact that coupled with the collagen, it's like what we call a glow up kit, right?
Yeah.
Who wants a glow up?
It's interesting that you talk about their hair changing. Yeah. Unfortunately, my hair has not changed. I wish it would, but it doesn't. But my husband, he's going to hate me, but my husband's chest hair went dark.
Oh,
it was gray and it went dark. Not like dark black, but it changed color. Yeah. So that's amazing that you said it. So it must be from the Eternal. Yeah. I'll have to let him know, but I won't tell him I said it. Don't tell him that.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
So if you see him on the beach, just don't stare at his chest. But another one that I really love because, we have such busy lives. We're running here, we're running there. I even, was a few minutes late here, but the Vitality, it's hard for me to eat during the day. And it's nice that in one pack, you can get all your nutrients for the day.
Yeah. This product from this company, this was the first one I started on, and I sort of laughed at it because as somebody who would be in and out of, naturopathic doctors and going in and getting muscle tested for what I should and shouldn't have. And, what's going on this month. I mean, I ended up paying, I was doing $300-400 a month. And every time I'd go in, they'd muscle test me. I'd get on 6 products and it was 4 or 5 times through the day. Next thing I know, I'm taking cocktails of vitamins, right? And she's like, oh, but it's specific to you. You don't need anything more or anything less. And I'm like, but then why do I feel okay? I'm not saying it's not working, but I'm not still feeling 100%, right? So what I realized is that if I had a product like Vitality where it was giving me more of a base, a foundation for wellness, that all of that other stuff she was doing probably would have been more recreational and even a little bit more specific. But I would have spent less money on a $70 per month product like Vitality and getting more nutrition, right? Everybody in the US is eating this much food. We're only getting this much nutrition. And then we're wondering why we're tired, we're sick, we're, zonking out at 2-3 p.m. in the afternoon, trying to go for another second or third energy drink. And really what it is just by that middle of the day, especially if you're intermittent fasting, you're not getting enough. I know that everybody says, contrary to popular belief, there's tons of experts who are like, you should fast forever. Well, actually for premenopausal women and postmenopausal women, no, they shouldn't. And there's huge studies in reverse on that. Okay. So, I mean, I look at the way that you're talking about, you're so busy, you can barely eat in a day. And for you to have one Vitalite and it's giving you 72 organic trace minerals, right? It's giving you a beautiful blend of 100 million live probiotic as well as good digestive enzymes. It's increasing your gut microbiome and it's feeding your body with things like greens and reds. Those are all in there. It's a tiny packet. You just do one a day. That's all you need. It's 5 little caplets, 4 that look the same in an omega complex. That's all, omega 3s and stuff. And it comes from again, just like our collagen, an open ocean sustainable aquaculture process. So very clean, mercury free, nothing gross in it. And the number one side effect I hear is people feel like there's a stimulant in it. I'm like, there is not even a drop of green tea in there. It is just getting good nutrition. That's where your energy is coming from. I had a girlfriend in her first 2 months lost 7 pounds. We're not a weight loss company. It's a side benefit of being satisfied and, not having to go out and basically,
eat horribly.
Yeah. So she would come home from her stressful job, right? She was falling asleep in her 2 and 4 in the afternoon, and she'd come home from her stressful job. She'd make dinner, and then she'd make like a second dinner, which was really like, everything else, right? So as soon as she started taking the Vitalite at lunchtime, she no longer did that. And so it was a natural, side benefit that she ended up losing weight. But now that is probably one of the biggest side benefits I do see from people incorporating just a simple multivitamin like Vitalite. Not all multivitamins are created equally. This one is very unique. It's very different, and it is working on the gut microbiome, as well as the epigenetics study shows if just doing one a day increases or decreases GLP-1 naturally by 348%.
Mm-hmm. Now you said epigenetics. Not everybody knows what that is. Can you explain epigenetics?
Yeah, it's the study of, gene function in your body, right? So we all have DNA and, everybody's got a little bit of a different thing going on. And that's exactly what it does. It comes in and it helps. You're either looking to down-regulate an overexpressed gene or upregulate an underexpressed gene for maximum health. And so you can dive in. We have studies on it that shows how our products, and several of them, come in, 6 of the products, they come in and they change gene expression for the better.
Okay.
So
That's
your
great.
genes,
so it makes you healthier.
Yeah, because your genes, it's kind of like keys on a piano, right? Some you want played over and over because they make really great sounds or they make you better, they make you feel better, and others you don't want to play as much, right? They're just not something you want to express, right? You don't want to express certain things like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and dementia. We don't want to express those. So what are other things we can do to play other keys on the keyboard that downregulate those negative effects of aging and bring up the how we live a better quality of life now and sort of prepare for longevity? Because as human beings, we are living longer, but in what quality of health, right?
So there's another one I love. My receptionist came to me one time and her back was killing her. And I said, you got to try the Revive. You have to. And within like 24 hours, she felt better. I mean, she did go to her chiropractor. She did get other help because the pain when she went off it was still there. So whatever was happening was still kind of there. But she used it in conjunction with going to her chiropractor, and she's now doing so much better. She doesn't need to take it as often. But then her mother noticed her running down the stairs basically one day, and she kind of doesn't get up and run down the stairs. So when she went off of it, she started to creak down the stairs again because her joints were bothering her. So now she's back on with 2 a day, and she's able to move so much better. I use it if I get a headache or something. I don't reach for that ibuprofen. I use the Revive. So can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I love Revive. It is like the best. It's a high-powered natural anti-inflammatory. That's what it is. And yeah, it improves joint health and, health of like a healthy inflammatory status. It improves flexibility and mobility and range of motion. And, it eases muscle stiffness, but it basically helps the body maintain a healthy inflammatory status. And so that's what that superoxide comes in, where a lot of people are being diagnosed with certain conditions that have a lot to do with an overproductive inflammation system. right? And so this product comes in and it helps down-regulate that expression so that you can live a better quality of life, right? So, for example, I've got a friend who has lupus, right? And she wakes up with RA type symptoms in her hands. She's only in her 30s, but she wakes up like this. As soon as she takes 2 Revive, she's completely fluid. She could do an entire yoga class, right? So that's how powerful this product is. And let me give you a context for this. The biggest part of this product is liposomal curcumin, boswellia, black cumin oil. And then it has 4 different types of delivery modalities. Valhalla saponins, those are micelles. They're like a vehicle to get that turmeric in there. And then also it's got different types of mushrooms, grapeseed extract, sea buckthorn, piperine, and menthol are also adjuvants. They increase cellular absorption. Now, it has peppermint and black pepper basically. But when you look at turmeric and everybody's doing some type of a golden milk, or they're putting more turmeric in their food, they're even putting it in their dog's foods for joint support and inflammation. What you don't realize is that turmeric is almost as large a molecule as collagen. It's big. So if you don't hydrolyze it, micronize it, or coat it in a liposome, you're probably getting less absorption than you are your collagen, because the collagen is an amino acid and turmeric is not, right? So it's an anti-inflammatory. So what I like about this product is he's done it right with 4 different delivery modalities to help you get max absorption of the curcumin into the body. And yes, you can have an incredible anti-inflammatory response. Some people it works. I always tell people it's kind of like a sleep number bed, right? Some people, like if you are prone to migraines, or you're going through menopause or something like that, and your hormones are out of balance and you are struggling with inflammation and hot flashes and all that, the Revive before you go to bed at night, along with the Eternal during the day, is going to help mitigate those symptoms quite a bit. Because it is helping with the inflammatory issues that are the way the body's responding to the hormonal imbalances that are happening, or the changes. I'll say changes is probably better. But yeah, it's for both men and women. I mean, I have athletes. I have professional athletes who are on this product to be able to help decrease the swelling in between, exercise. And when we talk about inflammation, there's 2 types, right? There's acute, which is like what you want after working out. And then there's chronic. I've got a problem. I can't kick it. I'm in pain. I don't feel good, right? So how can we bring those back into balance? A product like Revive helps bring that back into homeostasis. So it's a beautiful blend of ingredients, and people love it. And yeah, I mean, you would have to eat 3 pounds of food-grade turmeric to get the antioxidant benefit that's 2 caplets of Revive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to another amazing supplement. How about Purify?
Okay, don't get me started. I was a cleanse coach for 16 years. And I mean, there's really nothing you can't tell me about what's happening to your body, what's going in or coming out. Don't tell me. But I'm beyond that now. I just give people Purify, because we all have elimination organs, right? So we all have a liver, a lungs, a colon, kidneys, skin. Okay. And so what happens is people do all these juice fasts and these detox programs, and they're doing ginger teas and, celery juice. And I mean, you name it. I got it. I got on the medical medium kick for quite a while too. And I actually think there's a lot of benefits to it. But what I realize is, again, it's about sustainability. 90% of people will not continue with something like that long term because it's not sustainable for their quality of life. Okay, some people, they're fanatics and they can do it. But the rest of us are walking around, we're like, dang, I shouldn't have had 2 glasses of wine last night. I don't feel good. Or I can't believe I had a Diet Coke and went through the McDonald's line. That's the majority of people. And I get it. We're doing a lot to try to evolve and change, how we feel about food and food supply in America. That's a whole nother topic. But until then, right? Until we start living in a better world and we start making better choices, it is important that no matter what, even if you are making good choices, that you're using a product that helps prime those elimination organs. So they're pumps, they're filters. Your liver is a filter, right? Your kidneys are pumps. So you want to have a good product that comes in and it helps support that daily, not a laxative. No. We don't want to take a laxative. We want to support the body's natural elimination organs and help remove toxins and impurities and increase nutrient absorption in the body, right? This also, yes, it helps support a healthy weight. And the reason why I don't say weight loss, because it can also help with weight gain for those that need it, because they're holding on to impurities and heavy metals and toxins and things that are not readily being shuttled out of the body. And so when we talk about the ingredients in here, we're talking about humic shell extract, which is rich in fulvic acid. Fulvic acid, compared to other things you might think, it increases cellular absorption and promotes mitochondrial function, and it shuttles out heavy metals and impurities and toxins. So also things like coriander leaf and dandelion root, I used to give those to people when I had a program. I had this online program, and I would teach people, I would coach people to do their next physique show, right? So cutting and weight loss and, getting in top peak physical condition. And right before their shows, I would put them on coriander leaf and dandelion root because it's an apigenin. And what it does is it comes in and it primes the kidneys to release more or excess water weight or fluid, right? So their abs could come in for that half a day that they're on stage. I know it's silly, but it's true, right? So that's a really great ingredient because it primes those kidneys. Also things like kelp and apple pectin, those are great for the colon and the health of the gut microbiome. It comes in a green caplet, so it's a chlorophyll capsule. It's water soluble. It's just beautiful. That also binds to heavy metals. But the winning ingredients in here are liposomal milk thistle extract and burdock root. So rich in silymarin, right? And it's incredible what getting that type of phytonutrition absorbed in can help cleanse and support the liver. So there's not one liver that I've run across in my day and age that wouldn't need this formulation. It also has mullein leaf and stinging nettle. And my friend, I can tell you, it's been a long time since I've seen a formulator put all of those superpower products together, superpower nutrients, including stinging nettle. Do you know how many people struggle with kidney issues and UTIs?
Yes.
Yeah, that's huge for that. And it also helps with GERD and acid reflux. If you took 2 Purify at night before you go to bed, it would almost completely eliminate that because it's coming in and it's sucking up that excess acid from overeating or having, bad gut bacteria, bad pylori. Yeah.
Or a bad night of eating, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's great. The product is phenomenal. And I did talk a lot about that one. I know I've talked a lot about it, but I do love Purify because if somebody is struggling to get better nutrition, and let's say they have something like Crohn's or colitis and their colon's a slippery slide, you might go, well, why would you put them on a detox product? That's not going to be good for them. Yeah, it absolutely is. There's some kind of sludge in there that's causing a slippery slide. We need better absorption. You put them on a product like that, it starts healing that gut microbiome, and they can increase the absorption of other foods they eat. So I did have a woman who was in her 50s. They could not figure out what was wrong with her, and she could not gain weight because of her condition. She started in on the Purify as well as the Vitality. Of course, those would be important. And then she was using a lot of the liquids too, and we turned that around. So, I mean, it's kind of exciting to how beneficial the Purify is.
Some wonderful transformations out there. So, of course, we all want to be healthy and we want our immune system to be boosted because who wants to be sick? I mean, this past winter, I knew a lot of sick people and I see a lot of clients, and guess who wasn't sick? Me. I wasn't sick. So tell us about immunity.
Yeah. So our immune product. Okay. So when we think of the immune system, what I want people to understand more about their immune system, you have, an innate and an adaptive immune response in the body. And then, the immune system is directly related to the amount of stress that you are experiencing in your day. Think about it. In times that you're more stressed, if you get around somebody who's sick, you're more prone to get sick, right? If you're less stressed, your body is in a state of, it's not in a state of fight or flight. It's feeling good. You're giving yourself good nutrition. You're less likely to pick something up. So Dr. Dan, who's our formulator, knows this about the immune system. And so there's a technology called quorum sensing support. Quorum sensing comes in and it enhances gut microbiome, and it inhibits bad bacteria from communicating so that good bacteria can communicate better. What do we use to do that with? We use things like liposomal quercetin and reishi mushroom and 4 different types of nootropic mushrooms. I don't know why everybody's drinking mushrooms and putting it in hot water. They're killing a lot of the effect of the mushroom by doing so. Mushroom coffee is good. What would be better is powdered mushrooms, and that makes sense to me, right? Let's not overheat it. And so he also uses things like nano silver salt, which is the newest form of colloidal silver. It's like microdosing with colloidal silver, so you won't turn blue or whatever. But yes, it's also got things that you would think about that you would take if you were getting sick, like zinc and vitamin C and elderberry extract and calcium, D3 and aloe vera and all this good stuff. So he focused on really getting good trace minerals and selenium, things that help with both the innate and adaptive immune response. So when we think about boosting the immune system, that's actually not really a thing. What you want to do is you want to modulate your immune system. So if somebody has an autoimmune issue and they have an overactive immune system that's attacking itself, that's interesting, right? And then on chronically ill, if you're down here and you're sick and there's something wrong, you're chronically ill. What you need to do is you need to take things like the nootropic mushrooms and like all the nano silver salts so you can help bring and bridge that gap and bring the immune system back into homeostasis, back into balance. And that's what the immune support does. But I've even seen it help people with seasonal allergies, right? So, I mean, it's a beautiful product.
So you know so much about these supplements. What is your background?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm a part that I'm just a nutritional nerd.
Yeah.
That's really what I am. I wanted to be a doctor growing up.
Wow.
I didn't get the opportunity. My grandfather was a doctor. He was an internal medicine doctor at Dearborn, and he really inspired me. He was like my superhero. And I thought he was so cool. Like he would send me cool stuff growing up, and he would really educate me. Well, when I was in my teens, he ended up passing away, and it affected me greatly. Because, when you think somebody's invincible because they know so much and they're this cool doctor and they're helping heal people every day of their life, you're like, well, why was he so tired? Why was he so stressed out? Why couldn't he take care of himself? You know what I mean? He was taking care of so many other people. He didn't have time for himself. And a lot of doctors, they get very little education on nutrition. They're there to diagnose and treat, right? But they get very little on nutrition. Anyways, he was from Spain, so we had a different perspective, but he got sick and he died quite quickly. And it made me want to figure out what could he have done differently? That was my question. Because he would take antibiotics and, things like that, because that's what he had access to. So what could he have done differently? And so when I was 18, I decided to become a personal trainer while I was going to school because I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to do all this stuff. Right. So I started doing that. And then I started figuring human beings out. I started getting an education in human behavior, right? On why some people are able to change their health quite quickly and why some are not. So, I know I'm just a personal trainer with a background in health and nutrition. And, I only have an associate's of science, but I think more than anything, I am research and I study a lot. And that's something that I want to know with, fullness, what I'm promoting. It's either going to be good or I'm not going to promote it at all. I'm either moth through with my hair on fire or nothing at all, right? And so I do a lot of my own due diligence and education. But 20 years as a personal trainer, you'll start to learn a lot about nutrition, what is good, what isn't good, what is sustainable, what's not sustainable, what habits will work over time and what won't. And so that's kind of my background and why I nerd out on health and nutrition. But, I always say this, I've worked with a lot of people. And I've never met a skinny girl that doesn't want to look more beautiful. And I've never met a rich man that doesn't want to make more money and look good and be in good health so that he can continue to produce more. And so I think if you don't have your health, you don't have much of anything. And so it's just something that I've really honed in on and gotten excited about. And I mean, I onboard medical professionals weekly. Again, I didn't become a doctor, but my background, I went into marketing and sales and all of that too, with obviously an emphasis in health. And so I help a lot of doctors, medical professionals with their marketing and how can they help support their patients and their clientele better. And also estheticians and gym owners and all sorts of stuff, right?
I feel like this product needs to be in so many businesses. It's crazy. But of course, on the spa side of things, if there are any spa owners or solo estheticians out there, this product beautifully fits right into holistic wellness, helping your clients feel and look better. It pairs well with a lot of the treatments. Obviously, if your clients are under doctor's supervision or before they start anything, you always want to make sure that they check with their doctor to make sure that this is the right way to go for them. But liposomal supplements with high absorption, I just like that, the supplement is in your body. It's working for you. They will see a difference. Even if I've had, they just will see a difference. I feel like my eye color has changed. I don't know if I took a picture the other day and my eyes are hazel. Well, I grew up thinking my eyes are brown. So my eyes have actually gotten brighter. So since my eyes are brighter, I definitely have to be healthier, I would think, on the inside. Don't you agree?
Yeah, my mom was an iridologist, and so she would study eyes. And yes, you can very much tell, through the eyes, they call it the window to the soul, right? But through the eyes is also the window to the body and the different organs and how they're functioning. So yeah, definitely eye color can change when you are improving your gut health and your overall health in general. So yeah, I believe you.
Yes.
I believe it. Mm-hmm.
So there is a skincare line. So we need to touch on that because it's a really great line.
Yeah.
And we're going to start with the serum because I really love that serum. And my clients that have purchased the serum keep walking back in to see if it's on my shelf because sometimes they're waiting for it to come in the mail from the company and it's not in fast enough for them. So then they're walking in just to purchase it off my shelf. So tell us about Visage serum.
Yeah. So the Visage, the whole collection really it has, again, that quorum sensing support. But quorum sensing, again, inhibiting bad bacteria from communicating even on the surface of the skin and, being able to let good bacteria communicate better really improves overall absorption as well as maintaining pH balance and getting rid of impurities, right? And toxins that are on the surface of the skin and hydration. And skin is our largest organ. So if you sort of look at Visage, you're sort of stepping into the future of skincare. Because it is one of, I believe, almost 13 right now neurocosmetics in the world. It's very much an emerging technology and it's sort of redefining your routine while revitalizing luxury because this is not something that everybody has access to currently. And so together, with the Visage, you're getting an incredible experience that's, helps bring you closer to, yes, healthier, more radiant skin, but it's tiny particle sizes, and they're using things like allantoin and squalene and bakuchiol and vitamin C and, beautiful ingredients. But what it does is when you put it on your skin, it goes 3 layers deep transdermally into the skin without needing any microneedling. And then it actually increases, it increases the release, or in other words, it stimulates the brain skin connection. Neurocosmetic meaning neural brain, cosmetic meaning the product itself comes in and it helps increase feel good hormones and molecules. It literally stimulates the body to want to release more dopamine, serotonin, NAD plus, all this kind of stuff. So it is very much cutting edge, very much an emerging industry. But there is such a thing as these brain skin connection. I mean, you think about it, it is the largest organ on our body, right? So why are we not putting clean beauty products on there that make sense while also being able to balance out maybe certain, feelings of, I don't want to make any claims, but like anxiousness, or maybe you're prone to the blues during, the cold seasons or, things like that. So it can come in and it can help with all of that. That's in a nutshell. There's a lot of science. I'm holding back. There's a lot of science behind it. But it is an incredible line of products. But
I just like that it just works. You use it and it works.
Sure. My skin has never looked this good. I gave it to my girlfriend. She runs a 20-booth salon. She's very busy. She has 3 kids under the age of 10. And she's exhausted 24/7. But she has 2 laser specialists that rent booths from her. So when I gave her the products to try, I'm like, just try these. You'll be a good guinea pig, right? So she tried them, and her one laserist thought that she went to the other, and it caused a problem. She's like, I have not had any laser treatment from you. But I am using this incredible product that's helping. But, more than that is she started to get a little emotional on the phone with me. And she's like, every time I put the serum on before I go to bed at night, I sleep better, and I haven't slept good in years. I just haven't. Yeah. And she's like, so sleeping better. And I've noticed I'm not as short with my kids or my family, or even just with running a business. And I was like, that's cool. That's really neat.
More patience. Yes.
Yes, absolutely more patience.
So, a lot of my clients are 40 plus.
Yeah.
So what supplements would you say are non-negotiable for them?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm 40 plus, so I'll speak from experience here.
I'm definitely over that 40 plus.
We all need help, right, ladies? So, and men too. You have to start with the Vitality. It's just a base level of nutrition. To me, that's the core of our foundation with this company. The next thing I would talk about is getting on probably the detoxification product, be honest, because you're going to absorb the Vitality better. Mm-hmm. So the more you help the body, you just do 1 in the morning or 1 at night before you go to bed. It just helps prime those pumps in those kidneys so that you can absorb the Vitality better. The next one after that, I would say is, my goodness, I mean, either collagen or eternal. You can't go wrong with either one. And if you're a woman going through any peri or postmenopause, by the way, women think that because they're done after that phase of cycle that they're done, they're not. You're consistently in menopause. Okay. So your body doesn't just shift over and just, stop menstruating or whatever. No, you're consistently in menopause and can continue to have symptoms of menopause for years. So you might not have them as extreme, but you still want to support your body, right? And the hormonal function of your body. So having the eternal and the collagen is huge. And then of course, I'm a big girl. I love working out 24/7, but I mean, I didn't mean to say I'm a big girl. What I'm trying to say is, as an adult woman, I'm a big girl now, right? I know better. I don't want to be in pain like I was when I was working out in, 18 and just thought I would pop back and recover. I don't recover as quickly like I used to. So as long as I'm taking Revive, then I can consistently work out and not be having inflammatory issues. So Revive really is a part of my daily routine. I take it with me everywhere. All of the products I actually keep in a little tiny pill case because there's not a lot of them. It's not like 100 products, right? I keep in a little pill case in my purse. I travel with them. When I'm on an airplane, I'll take more Revive because it reduces the inflammation while, you get swelling when you're on an airplane. I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism right after my twin girls. So I still experience some of that I'm, of course, mitigating through diet and exercise. And this whole entire product line supports that. And so I'm slightly obsessed. I probably do 1 to 2 Eternal a day. I definitely do collagen and at least once a month. And yeah, so I would say those. Yes, the immune support. I do. Now I'm just saying all of them. You're like,
take them all.
The wide, yeah. But I would say I do take them all, and I love the immune support too because of my hypothyroidism too. It helps mitigate that. So yes, I named all of the products. I love the skincare too. I can't pick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So if I was on an island, I'll say this: if I was on an island, I would take Vitality or Eternal, right? Because that would be base level foundational nutrition. But otherwise, if you can, I would take all of them because they work synergistically better together, right? Your body is like a car. It needs oil changes and tune-ups and belts changed and all sorts of stuff, right? It needs gas to run on, all that kind of stuff. And so if you go in for a 50,000-mile checkup, but you say, I only want the oil changed, that's how most people are walking around in their body, right? Oh, I'll just do a little bit. If you can, the products work better together. And like I said, it's not 100 different products. It's just six ingestibles and a skincare line. You got this,
So what would you say to someone who's skeptical about these products?
Compared to what? So
I know, right?
I look out there and I see what's going on. The supplement world is highly underregulated, my friends. Just because it says it's third-party tested, there's different versions of third-party testing. I would do your due diligence, like dive into the homework, because the problem with most supplements is, again, they're not FDA regulated. The cellular absorption supplements are typically low. You only absorb 5 to 20%, maybe 10 is probably the average. They sometimes can use raw ingredients, though those can be often toxic and synthetic. What's on the label isn't on the bottle 83% of the time. That's called white labeling. You guys, wake up. Okay, there's there's these health professionals that are doing these YouTube channels that they're very excited about having their own line of products because it's a secondary source of income. But what they're not realizing is that 83% of the time it's white labeled. They don't have to guarantee that the nutrition is in that bottle in the amounts that it says it is. Nobody's regulating this. Okay. So you have to have really good, you have to have standards. We're very much a luxury boutique line of products. You're not going to find us in Amazon and you're not going to find us on the shelf at Whole Foods because we would have to explain to a 17-year-old kid how to explain quorum sensing technology. It's not going to happen. So it can be confusing. I understand. It can be very confusing. They're using fillers that can, trigger your allergens or your genetic, dysfunctions, MTHFR, things like that. So who do you trust? Who do you trust, right? Well, you can trust us, right? We are using superior products. They're vetted. They're listed in the PDR. We have high rates of cellular absorption. Our studies show that. We are medically relevant. There's four critical processes for health that you have to live a long, healthy life. You have to address malnutrition. That's the Vitality. You have to address toxicity. That's the Purify. You have to address oxidation and inflammation. Those are all the other products in our line. So our products work synergistically. They're simple. They have credible health outcomes. And they're highly, like I said, they're just highly tested. So yeah, I'm sort of a nerd. I don't just go buy products anywhere. And there's lots of good companies out there. I'm not saying that some of these other companies aren't good. I'm just saying that you're sort of looking at what would be considered the best of the best. We truly are the leader in bioavailable wellness products today, in my opinion.
I love it. And what I like is that, you're downsizing your supplement cabinet. At Beneath the Surface, we offer that. We offer Zoom calls or bring your supplements into us if you're in the area. I'm located in Madison, New Jersey. And let's go through what you have and look at these other supplements, because you probably have many of them within us, and you're going to be saving a lot of money. Right? So instead of spending 50, you're going to be spending maybe 95, instead of hundreds of dollars. So you really are saving money on a wonderful product that will work, and that is studied, and it's the only supplements in the PDR.
Marcia, you're right. Because listen, this line of products, it maximizes your absorption and minimizes your clutter. And I've seen lots of pantries in my day, and I've done lots of wellness consults. I'm so glad you guys are doing that. What a huge benefit that you're offering that in your area and to your community. And I'm sure they could connect with you online too. But I mean, it's true. Like I always tell people, bring into me what you're using so we can go through it together. And all of a sudden it's like, 10, 20, 30 bottles of products. I'm like, are you consistent with this right now? You're like,
I know.
Hard. I'm struggling.
Sometimes they're not even taking it. It's just in their shelf.
Yeah, it's sitting in the back of their pantry, sitting there, and they're like, I'll get to it. I spent money on it. I'm going to get to it later.
And then you're taking how many supplements a day? Yeah, I agree.
True.
Wow, this has been so great. I love talking to you. Thank you so much, Adrianne, for coming and giving us your knowledge. It really is wonderful to really dive into these supplements. If you need more information on these supplements, please contact me at beneaththesurfacespa@gmail.com. You can also go to my website actually email me at beneaththesurfacespa@gmail.com. Sorry about that. Or get a hold of me at beneaththesurfacespa.com under Buy Collagen. I have it tabbed as Buy Collagen because that's just the number one brand that we do sell through the spa. And I want people to be able to find it, but all the supplements will be listed off of that tab. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And if you have any other comments for us, please leave them below. Thank you, Adrianne, for coming on.
Oh, thanks, Marcia. I had a lot of fun with you today.
We'll see you soon.
See ya.